Buenos Dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Oh, yeah. We in there. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I mean, we're really in there. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye-ya. Bye-ya. Yes, indubitably. And as you can tell by that thumbnail right there, we're going to get straight into it. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a story I've never told anybody. Something that happened in 2006, right before I was incarcerated and sent to prison for a pegada that I pulled at a club called Maloney's in Merced. I've spoken on that exact pegada. We're going to go a little bit into that, but something happened. Something that still boggles my mind today. And in menudo está in a direct fashion, I'm going to tell you guys, because watch out. ¿Sabes qué? It was different. Oh yeah, it was very different, right? But in order to follow the story, man, you have to listen closely. Keep your mouth shut, ¿sabes qué? And open your ears, because this story right here is about betrayal. It's about how your own homeboys will look you in the face. Meanwhile, they're plotting on you. And you know it. But ¿sabes qué? You have to play a certain role. It seemed like at this time, man, I should have just bopped the individual. But I felt like playing this role along with it just to see how it was going to play out. And it got very, very close to my demise. So without further ado, man, I'm going to spit this story for you guys. It was a trip. The setup was real. And this story is about how I was set up by my own homeboys to be killed. But I was able to wiggle because of my homeboys. Trip out on this. So 06, I've told the story. I'm functioning within the regiment out there in Merced County. And we're really doing our thing. We're really doing our thing without too much being said and without going too deep into the intricacies of what we were doing out there. Let's just say feria was being made. We were doing our thing as we were supposed to do it. Okay, we were up to par in Merced County. That's a fact. That's actual and that's factual. The right gente were in the right positions. We're in the right place to make things happen. And every norteño out there on the guys was adhering to it. They were with the programa, right? Of course, there was a few degenerates that were out there running wild, a bunch of northern riders that weren't trying to take into what we had, the philosophies that we had. And so we were trying to deal with these individuals swiftly. That's first and foremost. So I've already talked about how one of the main adversaries out there, the main Valtos that was out there trying to turn people against us was a Valto named Cisco from Merced, right? And I don't want to put too much shine on this Valto's name, but let's just say that he was a force to be reckoned with. He wasn't the type of individual that you just run up on and think you're going to slap right in the face. So I mean, you could try it, but you're going to catch a 40 cal to the chest. That was a fact. This guy was never unstrapped. This guy was always ready for whatever. He was ready for that action. Him being a Nuestra Raza individual at that time, prior to him falling off, he knew what was up. He knew how to engage. He knew guerra. He was down for the war. He was down for whatever. So after he paroled from Pelican Bay, he pulled a fucking couple shady moves. And he started to surround himself with a whole bunch of degenerates and a whole bunch of actives that weren't knowing better, or even if they were knowing better, they didn't care. They had some type of love, some type of loyalty to this individual. So anyways, we were on him. I know I was. I'm not going to speak for everyone else, but I was making it my target. I was making it my target. I was making it my motherfucking priority to hit this guy, or to at least get this guy, eradicate this guy from the planet Earth, the wind's blowing, right? This was my mission. And it wasn't a mission that I was told to do. It was something that I put on my plate, and I was trying to eat it up. It was like a good steak that you want to eat. You're always trying to get, but you can't find it. Yeah, couldn't find them, but I was on them. So it goes down in a bar. I actually catch him slipping in this bar. And this is the catalyst of what leads to all kinds of different things that took place in the city of Merced, and almost took place to my own demise. I did what I was supposed to do as a functioning norteño, an end soul. I see this Valto, I identify him, I run up on him, I handle my business, me and a couple other homeboys, or one other homeboy, the other one he was a wango at the door, right, scared, and he felt the DP for that. But anyways, so me and the homeboy, Titi, we handle our business, right? Of course, we go on the run, and I've told that story, but let me get a little bit into it. So, boom, business is handled. People are going back and forth after this incident. It's a big thing in Merced. Shots are being fired. To what degree of shots that are being fired, I can't call it like an alcoholic, and I can't speak on here. Let's just say there was a lot of back and forth going on within the city of Merced. Who was involved? Again, I can't tell you, but it was a lot cracking in 2006. Google it, right? Over 400 to 500 shots being fired at some points at one time. So everybody was looking over their shoulders. The swivelization was real. The head swivelization was on point. In a menudo style, you needed to either do one or two things. Either fucking stand your ground and handle your business, or bounce, right? And we were standing our ground. But at the same time, everybody knew that it was getting hot on the calles, not because the potential disaster of getting hit with one of these bullets was coming, but because the placas were on our piece, right? They were on our headpiece quick. They were doing their proper investigations, and people were behind the scenes being CIs, telling, they're about to, right? Every time they're about the gunner gets out of prison, man, bad things happen. Get rid of them, right? They were on me. And I knew this. This happened time and time again. It seemed like every time I touched down in the city of Merced, people were pointing their fingers my direction. They wanted me out the way because I was fucking with their money, and I was also fucking with, their safety. Bang, bang, I guess so, right? But as a functioning Norteño, man, we were just trying to fucking establish, set our foundation, and do what we does, without too much interference. But if there's interference from the opposition or the outside, we were going to nip that swiftly in the bud. So anyways, Trip. Me and the homeboys decided for no other reason we're going to bounce out to Oxnard, and I've told that story. We're on the run, or I'm on the run with one other individual. We don't even know it at this time. We're going to find out a couple of days later. We're on the front page of the newspaper. Watch, I was looking like this. The homeboy was looking like this. We were there, right? So we go down there. Well, the whole time that I'm down there, I took a few homeboys with me. And one of the homeboys that this story is basically about, I can't speak his name because right now he's on the run for a first-degree murder they're trying to get him on. And I'm not going to fucking speak his name into existence like that. I'm not going to put him out there. But let's just say that me and this individual always were close, yet distant. Have you ever had one of those homeboys, man, where you guys fuck with each other daily, but you could tell there's some type of animosity there, some type of envy, some type of hate on his part, not necessarily on my part? Well, let me tell you something. See, my little brother had got incarcerated several years before that in the year 2001, and he was activating functions, right? And he was doing this thing in the county jail. Of course, being from Modesto, and not being from Merced, it's not like that in the Merced County Jail. In the Merced County Jail, a lot of favoritism, a lot of homeboy individualism is played. If you're from my hood, if you're from Dead End, first and foremost, man, you're going to get that love. If you're from the boys, Ghetto Boys, M Street, Levas, all these little towns in the surrounding Merced County area, you're going to get more love than others. If you're from Planets, I don't know what to tell you, right? At least I love everyone else. I don't know. But this is just how it's always been in Merced County. There's a lot of homeboy favoritism that gets played. And my hood being the deepest, the dominant, we're always going to show each other love. Cause we're homeboys. But my brother being from Modesto was a sore thumb. He was in the county jail kicking back. And of course, if he didn't utilize my name as being from Dead End, he probably would have had it bad. You never know, man. These guys like to push up on people. I know I was one of the same individuals doing it. Homeboys got no love if you weren't from the county. I mean, you got the love, you got the embracement, the canalismo, but at the same time, keep your distance. That's it, keep your distance, right? And that's just the way it worked out. By my brother being there for so long and fighting this big case, he ended up becoming the llavero and getting the keys to this block, which was a very notoriously and well-known block, 3 block at the time. And it was an active Norteño block. And one of the homeboy that would wiggle out with me all the time, man, he was in and out of jail, in and out of prison. So he happens to come to this block while my brother, has the keys. And my brother was a very dangerous individual at this time. I'm not going to speak on him too much because he's got parole coming. But I'm going to say that at this time, there was more removals and more pegadas happening in the Merced County Jail than ever. That's a fact. Stamp it and reverse it. Let me flip it. Okay, shit was happening. Shit was going on. This was the 2000s. 2002, 02, 03, 04. Shit was cracking. And, of course, like fingers get pointed at me, they were getting pointed at my brother. It seemed like his psychotic ass mind was a thing making this whole movement turn, but it wasn't nothing like that, man. It was just the homeboys were getting down. There were some real righteous motherfuckers in there, handling business. A lot of basura would come. A lot of trash had to get thrown on Wednesdays. Facts. So this vato took a dislike to my brother for one reason or another. I don't know. I can't tell you why they didn't like each other. But I could tell you that it was more one-sided. He, I think, was envious of my brother. Him being from my hood, from my water, Dead End, he felt like he should be in that position. Of course, my brother was in that position just based on time, seniority, and being about that business. And whatever the case may be, it was a standoff in the OK Corral. The homeboy gets out. He lets me know, yeah, your brother was high power. He was doing this. He was doing that. And I let him know, hey, that's him. He's his own man. So I raised him well, right? The lace-up was real. And that was that. So I could always tell the homeboy had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder when it concerned my brother or some type of animosity. He was hating, hating or something bad happened. I don't know, man. Maybe my brother slapped him up one time. Irregardless of that fact, man, he didn't like him. Or regardless, not irregardless, that's not a word. Regardless of the fact. But he didn't like my brother. But he still was my homeboy from my volume and a very dangerous individual at that. The homeboy wasn't the type of cat that you just run up on. He was strapped up. He was ready for whatever, as you can see by him being on the run right now for a murder. He just stayed. He stayed in that fashion. You know, the real ones. I kept real ones around me. I kept hitters around me. I kept people around me that I know would go the extra mile if they needed to be got. That's it. Plain and simple. Hey, where you from, Holmes? Dead end. What does that mean? That's what that means. That's it, right? Okay. I mean, I know what it means now, right? Vatos didn't want that pleito. They didn't want that problem, especially at that time, man. We were high powered. I especially was high powered. I was mixed up from the feet up to the motherfucking headpiece. Anyways, so now we're on the run, and okay, an incident had stemmed from this bar fight. Okay, let me backtrack a little bit. So when this bar fight happened, there were several individuals that were active that were in there. So after this bar fight went down, man, and I got off on old boy, and the melee happened, and people were running this way, people were running that way. It was a dangerous situation. Of course, that night, man, a lot of the canales from Salas, from Sanjo, and everybody, we all meet up at a safe house to discuss, you know, this individual, man, that we've been trying to get. It seemed like, yeah, I got him, but I didn't get him like I wanted to get him, right? He was becoming a thorn in our side. He was becoming an obstacle. It was time for him to go. I'm not going to sit here and say who made that call or who said what, but IRs were written. IRs are internal reports. Basically, they took one of the homeboys in one room, me in another room, and we wrote out all the information of who was there, what we seen, how it went down, to see if our stories matched up, to see if I made a hasty move and put the homeboy's safety in jeopardy. You know, I could have been all bad. I could have got deemed if I put the safety of a good canal or a good homeboy in jeopardy. And I would have to ride with that and rock with that. I understand. You know, safety is first and foremost when it comes to the casa. That was our household. That was our manpower. Those were our soldados. That was our regiment. You know, I could not put my people in harm's way. Of course, man, it works out. Our stories match up. And there was a couple individuals that were there that should have showed up, meaning they should have parlayed, meaning they should have participated. But they decided that if for no other reason they weren't going to participate, they were going to play the dummy role and be like, I don't even know who that fool is. Yeah, right? What about kindergarten? Puto, you forget that? So anyways, shit goes down in the city of Merced. You know, shit goes down, and let's just say someone came up very short, very, very short, that was there that night. Now, why he came up short, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it was because he didn't participate in the crime that I fucking was in. Let's just say he was in the immediate area and it was a coincidence that he came up short, okay? And it was a big case in the city of Merced, you know? He was found out in Atwater, cut up, shot, killed, murdered. And of course, they caught this familia that supposedly had did it, a couple brothers and their mother, and they all got incarcerated and they were fighting this big case. Now, my name kept coming up in this case, and that's a fact. You know, I'm sitting here and I'm going to tell you. So this guy had nothing to do with the shit, but my name kept coming up, and everyone kept pointing the direction. Of course, again, the fingers at the gun, right back to me, saying that this movida that I pulled in this bar, this removal or this get down, was actually the catalyst for this other crime happening. Now, I can't call it like an alcoholic. What I can say, man, is keep my name out your fucking mouth, right? I didn't want nothing to do with that. So I decided that for no other reason, I should evade that because that had nothing to do with me. But it was looking that way, you know, and I was a scare, Holmes. I was a scare. I was going to go to prison for life, especially when I hadn't done nothing. At least let me make my move. Then I'll go for life in that fashion. But anyway, so I bounced. Me and the homeboys, we end up in Oxnard and we're on the run. And of course, we take this one individual with us, okay, who was the hater homeboy. I call him the hater homeboy because he hated my brother, kind of hated on me, but I had nothing but love for him. And to this day, I still got love for you, boy. If you ever watch this, you know who you are, right? There was a video that was supposed to be pulled twice. So this homeboy, I guess, was going behind my back and getting at the homies, saying that every time that I got out of prison, every time that I was out there in the town, I was just doing way too much. I was putting the homeboys in danger. I wasn't thinking about the barrio. I was only thinking about the norte, this and that, and the organization and the regiment. And I was putting that before, the hood. Now, let me tell you something. Quietly as it's kept. Here's a news flash. It comes before the hood. But see, vatos that are from the neighborhood, they're in the barrio, they're not thinking like that. They're thinking the hood first and foremost. I know exactly what they're thinking because I got a lot of pride and I got a lot of love for the barrio. But at the same time, man, when you're part of an organization, you're part of something that's bigger than yourself. That's first on the fucking agenda, period. The norte comes first before anything, before any barrio, before any hood, before any fucking vatos old lady, before that fucking piruja on the corner looking like Arby's. Period. That's the way I was laced up. That's the way it's supposed to be. But he wasn't getting it. So he was backdooring me. He was going behind, my back, talking to the homeboys. And he actually told the homeboys, I'm going to hit this fool. So he was going to take it upon himself to kill me. That's a fact. I would find this out later. And I felt it. I felt the hair. You ever feel the hairs on the back of your neck stand up? So while we were in Oxnard, little did he know that I felt this coming. I seen this coming from 10 miles away. So I just gave out thumbs up to par on my awareness. So I felt like I was going to do the same thing. So we had two guys there the whole time. We're playing the role, the hugs, the handshakes, you know what I mean? But meanwhile, in the meantime, in between time, we were both trying to separate each other from the fucking group so we could smack each other. You know, I was going to take him out, so I was going to hit him one time for mine. I'm just being honest, man. That was my mentality. That was the way I was thinking. Of course, I would have never done it. You know, you can't get me for fucking planning on someone because it never materialized and you don't know who. Bang, bang, feds, right? But I was thinking, man, I got to protect myself, self-preservation before this guy gets me. I just felt it coming. And I guess later on he would tell people, man, this was the same thing. He was trying to get me too away from the group so he could smack me. Of course, it never materialized. He ended up going his way with the homeboys. I ended up going my way with another homeboy. We went to Juarez, Mexico. That's when we went on the run and all that shit happened. Now, you got to understand, I was still highly active. I was still functioning and so within the regiment. So I go back to Merced. And when I go back to Merced, I go right back in the body. I'm kicking it with the homeboys. I know the clock is ticking. My time is coming. I'm going to be incarcerated for this fucking fight that I got off on this bar on this cat. He done told on me and everything. Oh, yes. First primo out there that tried to tap in the other day. Why are you speaking on my primo? I got the paperwork, right? He told on your boy. I'm talking about the NF wants me killed, right? Yes, indeed. He walked right in there, McNamara Park, South Precinct, and told on your boy. I got the discovery. Don't fuck with me. Anyways, trip. You know what I mean? Bang, bang. Manuel style. I end up going back to kick it with the homeboys. And this is where it gets real tricky. They call this one tricky dance moves, right? It gets real little brisk on this shit. And this is how. We're all kicking back. And there's another barrio on the other side of town called Los Locos. Now, I ain't going to say no names. I'm just going to say that barrio's name. And we never fucked with them back in the days. Of course, after the fucking El Norte law was passed, after everybody was told, man, there will be no more red on red, the GUN album came out and all that, we kind of set our differences to the side, but there was always an underlying animosity between the two barrios, Dead End and Lapro. Them being the two biggest barrios, but at the same time, not really fucking with each other. You know, we had a lot of animosity because our hyenas would go fuck with them and their hyenas would come fuck with us. Oh yes, they fucked with us, right? And that's just the way it went. So there was always that underlying hate. But, you know, we were supposed to get along. Anyways, and I pushed that Norte above all else. So I get a call from someone that tells me there's an individual that's a well-known individual from that hood wanted to get at me. Now, this is about the time, man, that old boy that didn't participate in the reindeer games the smackalization had already happened. He was gone. There was an investigation, Merced, going on. They had arrested these two brothers and this mother. So everybody, he was a well-known guy. So everyone in Merced had a lot of relationships with this guy. They knew him. You know, he was well-known. So it was a shock to a lot of people. So anyways, I'm being called over to this house to get at homeboy because all of a sudden fucking he needs to talk to me about something. We've never talked before in our lives. We've talked in our life, but I mean not about some real shit. So of course, the homeboy goes with me, the one that doesn't like me, right? Of course, it's always like that. Little did I know the setup was going to be real. Okay, and I got saved by this guy. I'm only here because of my fucking awareness. So anyways, we get to this pad. I remember getting to this pad and this vato opens the door. And it's on the other side of town. When he opens the door, I have a 38 in my pocket. I'm already prepared, man. What the fuck is going on here? So I was thinking, where is my antennas at if I wasn't, right? They're right there. I'm aware. So I have my little 38 in my hand in my hoodie, and I'm kind of looking. It's dark in this house. And there's a couple homeboys sitting there, and they're cleaning off cuetes. And one of the homeboys I recognize real good. He's the homeboy. But I'm there, and they just the way that they're looking at me. All eyes are shifty. People are quiet. He's like, oh, what's up, bro? I got to get at you. All right, bam. So I sit down in this recliner with my back against the wall, close to the front door. My other homeboy that went with me, he's looking sketchy as fuck. I'm like, damn, I done did it. Now, this is the scariest part of the whole situation. So I was scared. No, I didn't say I was scary. You know what I mean? I had butterflies, though. But this was the scariest part of the whole situation. They had a tarp laid out in the living room, right? And I asked him, hey, what's up with this tarp, bro? He's like, oh, we're going to paint. We're painting tomorrow in the morning. It was like a Friday, Saturday, we were going to paint. Okay, yeah, they were going to paint my fucking noodles all over that wall. That's who was going to get painted. I felt it. I knew it was coming. And it was a fact. Later on, I found out for it to be a fact. So the Vato's like, hey, what happened to the homeboy, bro? I heard this, I heard that. So we go back and forth. It gets a little heated. He's feeling cheated. He played me soft. We had a meeting. How many shit was supposed to have been squashed? E40 shit. But anyways, so he has to take it the way he has to take it. You got to understand at this time, I was within the regiment. I was actually the big homeboy there. I'm the one that had status there. So it's kind of like, bro, what's cracking? You know what I mean? What is this all about? Well, about the same time they're starting to look sketchy, I know what's coming. I know they're about to bot me. They're waiting for me to get up to go so they can hit me from behind because, of course, they're not going to hit me from the front. And so I was smart. So I text one of my homeboys. And I was like, come get me now. This is where I'm at, bro. I said, I don't give a fuck if you're eating fucking your old lady's fucking Arby right now. I don't care if you're fucking jacking. I don't care what you're doing at this point, Humps. I need you. Come get me. Now, this is one of my homeboys since I was 3 years old. He knows the tone of my text. You feel me? I was texting in all capitals. I was yelling, right? Hurry up. This Vato pulls up and there's a banging at the door. Boom. But within 5 minutes, I was boom, 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 boom. And the dude's old lady comes to the door. Of course, she's wearing overalls too. She was ready probably to chop my ass up. Can't call it, right? She opens up the door all shocked. The homeboy comes with the little gauge piece talking about, where's my boy at, right? So I'm like, got him, right? I jump up. I pull the 38 out and I'm stand back, because I can see they're getting that itchy trigger finger. And I back up. Now, cool part is we tell the homeboy that's with me, that went with me from our audio, hey, you're going to come? He's like, nah, I'll catch up to you guys. Now, we don't pull guns already out on these individuals. We already know what time it was. He stood there. Okay, he stood there. So I already knew what time it was as far as he was within this setup. And of course, he was looking for an easy way out. He already wanted to get me, so why not get me with a whole bunch of individuals that didn't like me from back in the days anyways, because I was phoning their chicks. That's just a fact. You know what I mean? I can't lie about it. I die about it. And anyways, that was how I was almost set up by my own neighborhood. Trip, huh? The same individuals you kick it with every day, drink Pisto with, smoke yaks with. I never smoked yaks, but you know what I'm saying? Just ride or die for are gonna be the same individuals that get you. And I say that to say this. In real life, everyone always thinks the opposition, the people from the other side, are the ones plotting and planning and trying to get your motherfucking ass, but it's always within your circle. Stay conscious and aware of what's going on around you, because they almost got me that night. Me and the homeboys wiggled from there, and something ensued. Oh yeah, there were some get backs. There definitely was some get backs for that action. But at the end of the day, it was what it was. Anyways, I hope that you move fast with a purpose. I hope you enjoyed the story. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, man, stay aware. It'll be your same homeboys that'll bop you, get you in your sleep one time. So it's gonna meanwhile you're locked up like this, fuck, and they're boning your old lady. You're like, and it's all ugly. Anyways, I hope that you like this story. If you do, please hit that like and subscribe. There's a notification bell right there. You can tap that, touch that, lick that, stick that, reverse it. Is it worth it? Yes, it is. Please tap that and you'll get notified of all my new content that's coming out daily. If you don't like me, if you say, fuck this guy, he's a J-Cat, his story's fake, he's fraudulent, I just don't fuck with him, then you can hit that thumbs down. Heavy as the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to do what I does, because I does what I do. And in that fashion, bang, bang, the shit was real.